I think mobility at core is about people and things both. And obviously when we talk about mobility, cars seems like the most common denominator, but you think broadly in terms of what is terrestrial mobility?
Mobility touch every aspect of our life. The envelope is so big and definition is so elastic.
I think what the future of mobility will hold is really making sure that people move most efficiently between where they need to go.
We're starting to live through this innovation right now that's accelerating at such a rate that we need to deal with the innovation. Whether that means how can we optimize for charging our electric vehicles, or how can we implement drones to help us in crisis situations, or just from day-to-day life.
The line between terrestrial and air is getting more blurred out there. We have vertical takeoff technology, which has come through. We got hyperloops, which are coming into place. So mobility is all of that.
I know a lot of you have traveled a long way to come here, and we're just glad to have you all here for one crazy, action-packed weekend.
So welcome all. EV Hacks.
Thank you.
I think the hackathon has evolved definitely. We were talking about blockchain last year, that was Dapathons. This year we got also great mix of talent, designers and technologists and business people doing some awesome things in mobility. From the students who are really starting to get curious about mobility, and to the veterans in the industry who maybe launched 3-4 startups in mobility and sold them, and they coming here to experiment with other members of the community and use this place here as the test bed to launch their next startup. So very exciting times for everybody.
Mobility is really the one thing that goes back to society and culture, because we're so defined by how we travel. Self-driving cars are coming. I think that's the obvious one, but I don't know if it's really a disruption. I'm actually more curious to see all the ancillary things that will develop because of the way that technology is moving.
Going around the office today and talking to different participants, we're discovering new definitions for mobility that we didn't even think exist before. As we become multi-planet species, you're gonna discover like a million different use cases that we didn't even think about. Teleportation, for example, would fit if you want to stretch the definition of mobility.
I found a couple of ideas I can actually see turning into a real business. Like if they pitched it to me, I'd probably consider investing.
Mobility is not new to DD. Yes, blockchain is required. Yes, AI is required. Intelligent IoT, gaming tech, point-to-point network, these are all different enablers which have to come in. So don't try to build solutions which are embedded into today's physical technology. It's not about technology stacks, it's also about the physical engineering stacks, because there's going to be tremendous change there.
I've looked over the shoulder of a few engineers who are cranking out some code. It looks like it's going to be a really great demo and proof of concept that they could build some real businesses out of. Don't be afraid to ask for help on how to navigate the whole pitch process, on getting your market sizing and your frictions and your demand together. As an engineering director myself, that's sometimes the last thing I think about. I want to get the code together, but you need the whole business pitch end to end along with your product. We're glad to have everyone. It's been a long, energetic weekend, and I've seen a lot of people burning midnight oil.
I'm looking for the perfect blend between a really bold, big idea that might be really difficult, and a team that has a pragmatic sense about them, that has really thought about how they're going to actually execute and build. Hackathons kind of remind me of sporting events in some ways, right? Everyone has to have a lot of energy coming into it and get hyped up, and a lot of teams have to figure out how to work together quickly. So I could feel that energy all the way through, and it's just great to see it all come to an end, and everyone had smiles on their faces and felt good about it. We were pretty much in agreement right out of the gates. In general, we kind of landed on the idea that we really wanted to see these teams take the businesses all the way through and really make them happen. And so that was the lens that we ultimately judged them on.
So the last, but certainly not least, the best overall award goes to Routable.
When the routing algorithm finally worked.
Pretty memorable.
That was the highlight. The tech and the time that we spent on this is something I don't think we ever want to see go away, so we don't want it to go to waste, and we'd love to be able to talk to people about where this could go next.
The really impressive thing was that a lot of these teams built out full products that really worked almost end to end. And in 48 hours, that's pretty impressive. So it really highlights the fact that curating the developing of the team and the great work that the team at DV did paid off.